Hey guys, it's Jim with Co-op Motorworks and Motorhome Rehab Ranch on Patreon. Ranch hands, have a seat. Hey, listen, if there's a tea company that comes from Arizona that'd like me to sponsor them, this is pretty good stuff, and it's only $1. I mean, you know, these monsters and all those things, they're expensive. I mean, $1. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're not here to talk about energy drinks today. Why would they make an awning this big? I mean, when it rains, you're going to have to be up here like this. Why? Because you can open this window and it's raining. Why? Because if the sun's coming down, it won't bake the entire side of this motorhome. And it's very cool. And talking about setup, boom, done. This is a Zip D window awning, driver's side window awning. It's a very cool thing to have, even though it doesn't make sense when you first look at it. So we're going to install one of these today, all right? We've done the patio awning, which doubles the size of your living space. But this right here, with the ability to open that window and to keep the sun off of this side, is a big thing. All right? Come on over and I'll show you how we're going to do this. All right, guys, just so happens we're going to put a window awning on this coach. We've ordered it up from Zip D. So if you want one of these, give us a call. We're Zip D dealers. Or you can call Zip D, same price. You order your awning. We've ordered it. Nothing is off shelf at Zip D. When you place the order, they get the fabrics, umbrella fabric. They make it. They will tell you the date it will ship from their place. You're in their queue. Nothing's on the shelf. So when it comes in, you're going to lay it out, you're going to build it. You'll put the arms on it just like that. Okay? Now, first thing, what are you going to need? Isn't it nice? Jason and the guys set this all up for me. I don't have to run around for anything. It's cool. That's what you should do. You need a screw gun, Phillips tip. Look at the manual. Now, I got to hand it to Zip D. In days past, the manual was like 6 or 8 pages. They got it down to 1 page. Booyah. Great. Well, 2. It's got back. All right? But here's what I want you to do. I want you to read it all. And right now, you look at all the parts, the tools and things you're going to need. There's 3 drill bits, a couple of wrenches, a socket. Now, they put a hand rivet over here. You may or may not want to use this. Depends on how much of a gorilla grip you have. You may want to go get an air riveter. Harbor Freight has a pile of them. Okay? Why? Because they do not supply the fasteners for the rail. And this is what you're going to use. You may not find it at a hardware store. Everything's online. This is called a blind rivet. She'll show pictures of it later. You know how a rivet, you'll see the ball on the end of it? Well, this particular rivet, the end of it is solid. It's sealed. So when you pop it, there's no way for water to go inside the rivet and back out. Plus, this is an aluminum rivet, but it has a steel shank. That's why you got to use an air riveter, because let me tell you something, man. When you pop a steel shank on an aluminum rivet through aluminum, that is a piece of the roof. Okay? So you want to get probably 30. 40? Comes in a box, what, 50? Yeah, so get a whole box. They're great. They'll hold everything together. All right? Sealants. You use RTV under the rail. Think about this. You got the awning rail on there. It needs to be sealed to the roof. If it were to ever pooch up in the middle of the rivets, water would go in. How do I know that? because they put the awning on mine and didn't put any sealant under it, and every time it leaks. And guess what? I have a 73 and it doesn't have any of the drip rails on the rail. It goes right down the side of the motorhome. What did I do? I sealed the top of it. Okay? So, you want to seal it. It's got a Phillips head screwdriver. You may want to use that because you're going to be really hitting the number 3 screw. All right, so these are the parts. We've also got really cool bent head needle nose pliers. Very cool stuff. You don't have to have that, but it's very neat. All right, so these are the parts we want to have. All right. First step, I'm going to turn this over to Jason. One of the complaints was everybody sees that I'm doing a video by myself. Am I the only one here? Well, there is Scarlett over there running the camera, but there's more people here. So let me turn this over to Jason. He's going to show you how to use all this stuff, and we're going to go from there, all right? So stand by.
Hey guys, so I'm up here on top of the scaffolding that we have set up for this coach, and I'm going to show you the first step of this, which is installing this rail that the awning is going to actually sit in. This awning, well, we have kind of an issue with this one where this marker light, it's an aftermarket marker light, and it looks like it's a little closer to the rail than they might normally be. So we're a little bit further forward with this rail than we would normally set it. But what you would like to do is get it as close to this seam here as possible and as close to your roof rail as possible. So in the instruction manual, they talk about being between, you know, like 3 inches if you have a shorter awning to like 4 inches. It's a little over that, but they don't really apply to our coach because we have this curve to the coach. Normally these are getting put on one of those flat box motorhomes, you know, that doesn't have that kind of curve to accommodate. So ours just go right up against this roof rail and as far back or as close to this as possible. They want to put these rivets in every 6 inches. So you'll start with one pretty close to the end and then every 6 inches after that. And then once you have all those drilled, you want to put a bead of RTV, clear silicone, underneath that and rivet it down. Ideally you'd use a pneumatic riveter because it's going to be quite a forearm workout if you do the hand rivets, but it is possible. So they talk about what size drill bit to use, but depending on what size rivets you get, you're going to have to go with the drill bit that works with those rivets. Once you have this mounted, it's straight all the way to the end. You're going to want to bend the end open just a little bit at the other end. We'll get a picture of that, but it's just a little bit to be able to slide the awning in. And then once you have that seated, you're going to want to pinch it back down on it, and you'll want to pinch at least the front and the back. Some people put dimples in it, but if you put a whole bunch of dimples in it all along, you're probably going to have a pain if you ever have to change out the fabric or anything, or the little piece that holds it on. All right, so we're going to go down and grab the awning and show you how we put that on. All right, so the next step is going to be putting together these arms. So you can see this arm's already kind of partially assembled. We've got a 1/4-20 bolt that it comes with a lock washer through at the top and an acorn nut. And so the acorn nut's going to be on the outside of this. And you can see this bend here. The bend is going to be closer to the top part. This zippy piece is going to go on the actual awning where it rolls. And then on the bottom, we've got a bracket like this. Ours actually came with 2 of the holes not drilled, so we had to drill those out. But that's going to go on here, and you could put this together later, or you can put it together first, but it's just the bolt goes through and the acorn nut on it. And this piece is going to end up on the outside of that rail. We'll show that up on the coach. And then it's going to be 2 of these screws and then a rivet on the outside is how they want you to assemble it. So I'm gonna go put this arm on, and it's just, there's a pin that goes in on the end. Actually, we'll come over here if we can. As you can see here on the awning, we've got a pin on the end of the shaft. It goes into this. So you got a cotter key. That's gonna go in here, cotter pin. And I'll have to grab some pliers to get that to go in there, but you just line it up and it's gonna go through. And then once that's on there, you can open up the cotter pin to keep it from falling out. And this is gonna be the reverse on the other side with this flat part facing this side, so it's gonna be a mirror image of this one. Talk about it. Okay, so for our next step, you can see I've got a couple of my friends here. A couple guys here with me. Unwilling assistants? No.
I'm recording.
Oh, we're recording. Oh, okay. Well, that's going on bloopers probably. Okay, so for the next step, as you can see, we have the awning about to go in place. So I've got a couple of people helping me. You're going to need at least someone at the far end and probably someone in the middle to take the weight off of it. And you want it rolled up so that it's not too burdensome, I guess. And then you want to get it up in here, the position. This little locking tab, or whatever you want to call that, is going to go into the end that you opened up here. Once you get it going, it should slide in there pretty good. You want to make sure there's nothing that's sharp under here that can catch it. We had already checked all these screws from the old roof rails, and they were there's no sharp edges. So we're going to pull it in all the way, and it's going to come here until you can get this arm to hang down into its position. We've already measured it and drilled the holes, but you want it to sit rolled up tight here. They have a measurement in the book that's like 24.5 inches, but they don't accommodate for this angle here. So it may be just a little off of that, but basically what you're looking for is the thing to be tucked under itself when you get these in. This arm here is going to be parallel with the seam. And then once that's in, you can go to the front side, and where that arm hangs down, where it's parallel with this one, then you can anchor that one and just make sure it's level front to rear. All right, so for the next step, we're going to put on the little holder hook. For that, what they want you to do is, without it rolled yet, without the tension on it, they want you to put it on, put it up against the body where it's even, everything is pulling correct, and they want it to just have a 1/2 inch of slack. So if you have it tight, you come up about a 1/2 inch from there, and you'll make your marks, and then you can put those in with the rivets that they supply. You know where you went. And just make sure that those are level once you mark them. And after that, we're just going to wind it. So we'll cut to that. Okay, so now that we have it all installed, the last thing is winding it. And the amount of winds may vary from coach to coach, spring to spring inside it. But basically, I'm going to take the pin out of here and have the arm here in my hand, and you're going to have some people holding it out, and I'm going to wind this clockwise the amount of turns that you need to do. I would start with probably like 6 turns or so, and then put the pin back in and test it and see if that's the correct amount of turns. So once you get that in, we'll get that. All right, so I'm gonna be clear. All right. Okay, so, and that's pretty decent. The amount may vary per coach, like I said, but I think we had something about 7 or 8 turns on this or something like that. But we had to play with it a couple times to get it to where it needs to be. Also, when you're initially setting it up, when you roll it up, that may put a couple of turns into it right there. So depending on if you have all of the slack out of the spring when you install it or not, that's going to affect how many turns it is.
All right, so what do you think about that, guys? It's up. Very important part I want to show you. Every patio awning comes with one of these. You know what this is? It's called a geezer stick. Why? Because I'm too decrepit to reach up here. Got it down. Pretty easy. And again, like I showed you on the other one, the side of this coach is going to be shaded. You can open the window, locked, in the rain. And if you're really hard up, you can kind of miss the rain, you know. But Zip-D made a really nice thing of making this awning. It really did. And if you're going to use your coach, there's been a lot of people saying, well, I don't want all this stuff hanging off the coach and all that. Well, we got some hanging off there, you know, and it just makes the inside so nice when you can open that window up. A little shade. Boom, done. All right, so I hope this helps you guys. If you've wondered about awnings, you wondered about why this little one is over here. Actually, on one of my coaches, Larry, you've probably seen it has 2 patio awnings. You can deploy them, it looks like a glider. It's amazing. And I used to go to shows. Guys used to see me. I'd set up all my personal stuff on this side of the coach and then set up the display on that side. It was wonderful. Looked a little goofy. This is nice. All right, well, look, guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for being ranch hands. And this is the kind of stuff we want to do. If you're interested in a Zip-D awning, give us a call. We're Zip-D dealers. Or you can give Zip-D a call direct. Don't go to somebody that's going to add money to it and all this kind of stuff, make a package deal and all this kind of thing. As you saw, these things are not that hard to install. We did a Zip-D full patio awning before on another video, okay? So if you like these, it is a do-it-yourself item. You can do this. All right, look, thanks for the time, and we'll see you next time.